55 and 5, episode 10. We're in double digits, Cary. They said it couldn't be done.
Here we are. Now, hopefully this week, I won't come off as the common fool.
No. Well, I don't have any original Nikolai Volkovs. I do have a Nikolai Volkov update. His original tag team partner was Boris Volkov, not to be confused with Boris Zukov, who the other Nikolai Volkov would team up with.
Well, what do we got this week?
Well, this week, we have a man that you might know. And to catch people up on the rules before we start, I present Cary with a card from the 121 card 1955 Parkhurst set. They release these beautiful wrestling cards. Cary has 5 minutes to tell us about that wrestler. If he cannot, I have a safety net in my hand that has some notes and information. Some of these are very notable wrestlers. Some of these are less notable and have had a cup of coffee, like the great Steve McGill. This one falls somewhere in between. It's an interesting one. So to keep it the length short, brevity, a quick history lesson, I set the timer for 5 minutes. Cary tells us what he knows about this man. And I'm going to make sure I say this man's name right, because if I don't, I'll accidentally say,
already.
I'll say a pasta name. It's the great Pete Managoff. So I'm going to start the timer now. That's a name you might have seen.
I think there was a Bobby Managoff or something of that type. But once again, you're giving me tough ones here. I don't remember him, from my old wrestling magazines. Certainly didn't see him. If I had a wager, I'm going to say he didn't make it into the 60s or very far into the 60s.
Barely. He actually passed away in 66.
Oh.
So he barely wrestled into the 60s, but he had a pretty notable career. He was, another large man, kind of an attraction that way. 6'4". His naked, whoops, he's almost naked on the card. His nickname was Man Mountain Managoff.
Really?
Yeah. So
I guess that's why they put him in the little ring.
Oh my goodness. He's in a very tiny ring. Talk about optical illusions. That's you remember Andre on the box next to Vince?
Right.
Well, that looks like he's in the world's smallest ring. But one of the ways that you thought you might know him, he was briefly a headliner in Capitol in the Madison Square Garden.
Well,
briefly. It's 1958. And he wrestled Eduardo Carpentier, Arnold Skoland, Anthony Naraka, and he had his title shot at the NWA World's Heavyweight Championship against Dick Hutton, who's one of the more forgotten world champions.
I recently posted a poster that I found
right
with Dick Hutton, but I gotta start doing better research on my 50s Madison Square Garden books, because he just doesn't ring a bell. I'm sorry, folks.
This one was tricky. He's his last big run came in 1960, and he was in Texas, and he faced Duke Kiyomuka. Yes, which was, I believe, Pat Tanaka's father. Is it
possibly?
Pepper Gomez, Tiger Conway, Sheikh Adnan Al-Kaisi.
Man, he had a long career.
Sure did. Adnan Al-Kaisi was the manager at WrestleMania 7 in 1991. And also Terrible Ted. The
bear.
I was going to say, that came up, but it didn't tell me if it was a bear or not, and I thought it was the bear.
Yeah, he was one of the many wrestling bears. Imagine having to wrestle, they would declaw the bear, and they would have the muzzle on, but it was still a bear. It wasn't like a little tiny bear. So, yeah, Terrible Ted was around for years, or there might have been a few Terrible Teds.
Yeah.
And there were other wrestling bears. But
sure.
The name Terrible Ted was around a long time.
Well, there you have it. Pete Managoff, born in 1915, passed in 1966. His debut, same year that Mickey Mouse came out, 1928.
Okay.
So that's...
Wait a minute. I
think that's our
what year was he born?
Excuse me. 1938 was his debut, not 28. He was born in 15, made his debut in 38. I think that's our first wrestler who debuted in the 30s.
Very good.
Yeah.
Well, he had a long career. Very interesting to learn this stuff. As an old wrestling nerd that I am, I enjoy putting the dunce cap on now and then. It's okay, because I'm learning here.
And so am I. And it's been fun to go through these. We're going to stop the clock. 1 minute, 19 seconds, just a little over 3.5 minutes on the great Pete Managoff. We hoped you learned something today. I know Cary and I did. It's been fun talking about these wrestling stars. We're going to lose our fingers or lose the ability to count on our fingers on next episode. We're going to go to episode 11.
We're going to throw a yo.
We're going to throw a yo. There you go. Yeah. Wait, what was it? High horn yo?
Horn high yo.
Horn high yo. I got to get...
yo is 11 on the dice table.
There you go. You want to call it out and throw some money on it. Throw some money on us next time. 55-5 for Cary, Lamb Chop, our producer, AJ, Ian, Uncle Gunny, Captain Lou. Haven't shouted them out a couple episodes. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. Happy New Year.